and welcome to Nathan's Garage. Well, we kind of got ahead of ourselves in this moment because all that is left of Flora's original engine is this. Gears, push rods, bunch of bolts, and 2 single pour cylinder heads. Now, there are pistons and barrels outside, which have been outside for a long time and never going to get used again, but this is the use again pile. Even these aren't going to get used. I had Volvo Yoda come down and he pulled a couple of valves with a very efficient hammer and socket technique, and the guides are all wiggly. And also, Crankshaft in Riverside is a Volkswagen supplier, and they do a kit which is $5.99 for brand new casting dual port heads. So we'll see how good those castings are, and I'm going to take it back to 85.5mm barrels, take it back to 1600, so we've got nice thick cylinder walls and pushrod tubes. So that's all $5.99, so it just seems the right thing to do and the right way to go. The cases I took down to Brothers, which is in Ontario, California. They seem to be the people. I asked around a few times and everybody said those guys. And went down yesterday, super nice. And, you know, I have no idea what I'm looking at. So obviously they found a lot more than I saw. So that is a pretty penny. But we're getting back, you know, a real good, well, basically brand new base. What else? And I just called them this morning because I thought while we're in there, they're going to regrind the cam to an Engel 100. So it'll be a 1600. I actually bought this head when I was buying this doghouse fan strap. So doghouse meaning the oil cooler sits there and doesn't affect cooling to cylinder 3 and 4. Whereas on mine, it sits inside this housing, so cylinder 3 and 4 get hot air. So this happened in 71, she's a 70, so obviously did not get the upgrades. So we got a doghouse fan cooler, we have cylinder tins, but they're chrome, so we need to do some stuff to make them not chrome. And as I say, while I was there, he had this head for like $20. I think what I'm going to do is, and I've watched on YouTube various people who know a lot more than me about Volkswagens, you know, about exhaust ports being very restrictive. So I'll be able to, I mean, who knows what this casting is actually. It's got a VW logo on it, so this may be original. But I had just had a play around this morning with the exhaust port, because there's a really big elbow, there's a really sharp transition just as it goes in, and I just gave it a little bit of a tickle with what I have, and I can get my finger in there, whereas that one I can't. So whether that would help or not, I don't know. I'm gonna have a bit more of a read up before I attack new heads, and also probably get some smaller bits, because I've only got the really fat bits, which, yeah, I don't really want to mess anything up obviously with new heads. So yeah, so that's going to be a week at the machine shop. So let's get on with the engine teardown that created this mess. Okay, here we go. That's going to be on, so no talking. It's all rat poo.
some oil in it. Look, it's got oil in it. But there's no water there.
I cannot believe it's got oil in it. Oh my god. Okay, this is where we are. We have oil, which is just that's just a win in itself. So I'm going to take this off first, and then I just want to turn it over by hand so bad, but there's obviously no distributor, so I just want to somehow, I don't know, I've got to get the plugs out, see if it moves. Okay, that little tray is off. The pee is really caked in there. Okay, let's carry on, I guess. Okay, I'm trying to not go full gorilla on this thing, so I'm using the impact driver to get these screws out, and it's bending the tin. I mean, I've got nothing to put the tin against if this goes back in. Excuse me. It's probably some rat poo. That screw down there, I can't get access to with the impact, and it is not playing right now. So I think, as far as I can tell, I'm gonna see if I can get the generator off. Oh, somebody has been in this as well, because we've got different size washers in several places. So yeah, somebody's been in it. Obviously, having no idea what order a Volkswagen engine comes apart in, the generator's not next. So I did the front tins. Now I'm undoing the inlet manifold, and then I don't know after that. So I'm trying to figure out, would it be the stand maybe for the alternator, generator? I wonder how that's held in. That worries me. One thing that I am willing to go full Neanderthal on is the exhaust. So I'm just going to chop it here and then on the other side, and then at least we can get the silencer off and then figure out some stuff. The thermostat is playing hard to get right now, which is attached to the fan. But also very interesting. Oh, let me get down there. The oil fill is not connected to anything. Oh no, that's a breather. Oh, that's a breather. But that means whatever that was attached to, there's now a hole, which is down there somewhere, I'm pretty sure. So, okay. Fan and alternator are off, now upside down. Thermostat, don't think has worked for a long time. That's that. So now coming over here, underneath the generator in this case, is it supposed to be full of oil? Or at least, have a really good coating on that. Don't know, interesting. Answers on a postcard, please. Okay, so, oh yeah, so this is like, I think 71 or something. They went to a doghouse fan shroud, and this is not one of those, because apparently this makes number 3 cylinder run hot, because the fan's here and it blows air through the oil cooler to then cool cylinder 3. So what happened in the doghouse, there's an adapter that moved the oil cooler from there to there, so that the fan expels hot air down the back and it has a straight shot of cool air to clean that side. It's been very interesting YouTube University this week, learning all about VW engines. Right, sit rep. All plugs are good. There's no tips blown off, stuff broken up inside the cylinders or anything like that. I've left the plugs in this, next to the cylinder that they're in, because I don't know what cylinder numbers are yet. But it's still going ding, 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 ding. So something has happened, because there's no compression now, obviously. So it should be fairly easy to turn over. I have a feeling, I don't know why, I have a feeling something has happened with the distributor drive and the crank. don't know why I think that, but it just, I don't know. It's in my water, if you know what I mean. So that's that. I think next we'll get flywheel off, generator stand and oil cooler. There's another thing as well. There's 0 end play in the crank. And I know there's supposed to be some, and there's none. I don't know if this is normal, seems weird. Watch how much back and forth movement there is on this. So it comes out, goes back in. I am so happy that those two came out to get that off with a bit of heat, so we saved the front of the case. I was about to cut the head off it and I was like, nope. And then that's that way round. Seems to be a certain way it goes round. That's that way. I kept my idiot on a stick at bay for a decent amount of time. I thought there was only one nut holding the oil cooler on. I forgot about, well, I didn't forget because I just didn't know. Luckily, beating the hell out of it and it coming this way, he didn't snap these two ears off. Lucky. Okay, I guess it's heads off next. For as much as I know, rocker arms all seem fine, and the push rods all seem fine, no chewed up ends. So now, cylinder heads. Heads are okay, nothing massively untoward. That one is way more rich, I think. Nothing particularly screaming badness. One thing, this head was really loose, as in it's never been off and loosened itself loose, or somebody was in there, was like, get the hell out, put it back on, didn't tighten it up too much. A couple of them were loose, were tight, but anyway, cylinders next. Right, in our reality of engine lockage, we got 2 pistons out, the ones that are out, both fine, like no real heavy conversations with the cylinder wall. This one has had a conversation. About the other one. Not too bad on the top side. Who knows the other side? So anyway, it's on the engine stand now. Drain the oil. I'm gonna go inside for a second because I'm absolutely dying out here. Pull the oil pump gears just in case something was jammed in there. Nope. So it's not moving right now, so I can't get the gudgeon pin out of the piston. So what I have formulated in my mind is that if the crankcase has a hold of the crank, let's loosen the crankcase. So we're going to crack all the nuts and bolts holding the crankcase together, see if we can just pull it apart slightly. I don't have that tool. Guess I'll get that ordered right now. Yeah, pull the oil pump, then just see if we can, I don't know, see if there's any tabs I can just give it a little bit of a tap to split the cases and see if it can release its hold on the actual crank. If this works, I must thank a gentleman online. I want to get this oil pump out. I don't have the tool. It's on order, but I don't have the proper tool. So what he did, he chopped down a finger drill bit, and I did a drill bit as well, in the oil inlet and in the oil outlet. It's kind of there, you know, because you can put it very far into the oil gallery on this side, and then so put it in and then bring it back out to go into this side. Now we had a chain. I have this piece of wood, and then he'd leave it out. Let's see if this works for me. Let's hope. It only worked. You've got to be kidding me, that's insane. Okay. So, put it back in that side to get it out. So, drill bit cut down. Anything with a loop on one end and a loop on another. Lever against block. Boom! Love it. I do have the tool on the way though, so, because, you know, it'd be nice to do it properly. So now has come the point, so studs are out, still can't move the crank, oil pump's out, everything's pretty much out. Oil dipstick will be out in a minute. Yeah, so I'm hoping if I can, you know, loosen all the crankcase bolts and it just splits a little bit, that it'll let go of the crank. Okay, here we go. So I took some measurements last night and I think the engine seems to be 1641-ish. I think they're 87mm barrels. Sorry for any extra noise. I've got the washing machine and the fan going. It has got really hot in LA recently. Now I don't have any spring clips to keep the lifters in their bore, so who knows. I think they're going to be very loose and rock out. I think all bolts are off, so all the 17s, 13 there, 13 there, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, bolt. I just watched a gentleman and he did just remove his oil pressure senders. Should I do that? No, sorry, oil pressure relief. Ooh, I didn't take the strainer out. That would have been inconvenient. That would definitely not have helped. The strainer itself, I mean, there's no really a fair amount of sludge, but you know, no bits of metal. Interesting. So somebody has had this back pressure relief valve out. The gentleman did say we could just give a little bit of a helping hand, which is bolted onto that, so get out one with these ears. Okay, that helped. Don't think it did any damage. Let's hope not. Evenly splitting at the bottom and a little bit at the top, but right here. There we go. So I wasn't hitting it hard. Let's hope I've not cracked it. But the shocking of, like, you know, no rubber mallet. Okay, loose at the back. Ideal scenario, the case hasn't been line bored and something really insignificant made it not want to turn over anymore. Okay, so lifters did not stay in, unsurprisingly. Game on! Okay, so let's have a quick look. So, where did that bearing go? Okay, we've got to find that one. That one stayed in. Now you can see, okay, I guess we'll see when we actually pull them off how sticky they are. But cam loads, well, a little bit of wear, but you know, not huge. Okay, let's carry on. Right now, everything's still looking okay. Can definitely feel it raised where you've got the oil gallery, as if the bearings have possibly made the way into the case a little bit, or it's just crap from oil residue. So, I don't know how straight the case is, but one very, very, very good thing is standard. Standard. That, I'm assuming, means standard bearing. Now you can see there's wear. There's definite heavy wear. Definite heavy wear. Would that lock it up? Don't know. Again, this is so what a guy did online was he got a straight edge and kind of like just did that and like saw what made light marks, and I don't know. I just don't know whether, you know, everything's smooth. Feel anything that's really weird, you know. Now, knocking out the pistons, I hope I didn't do any damage to this. But saying that, we're obviously going to pull the rods. I suppose it is insurance having new bearings pressed into these con rods, and then we'll see obviously what the big ends are like. Can't get the Woodruff key out right now. Got to go to YouTube University for that. The heads of the lifters look fine, I think, and the camshaft looks fine, methinks. I wonder if these would ever say standard on them or not. Don't know. May have to have a clean up and see if there's anything written. So, you know, next time I've got to see if I can get that Woodruff key out, and then I've got to see how to get the distributor gear off, and then whatever that gear is as well, so I can get that. See, none of the bearings are stuck. Now, down here, there is the finger doesn't catch. The finger's not catching, and then that's moving. Now, I don't know how hard these are. These are supposed to be to get out the distributor drive shaft. Now, what I wonder is, was the distributor taken from this car when it was still running for another car to sell or something like that, and then never put back? Then years of corrosion goes down the top and jams the top in, because this thing ain't for doing anything, and that would obviously lock the whole assembly into place. I'm very intrigued to see how hard that should be to get out. Again, another YouTube University moment for me. I think that's it. That distributor drive gear, I've just seen a couple of people shove a screwdriver there and go boop, out it comes. This is seized solid. Seized solid. So I used a well-known technique called Betamus Maximus, and you know, it's out. You can see if we can see the deposits. Can you see the black? Can you see the black kind of deposits of corrosion that were like capped over this, the end of this shaft type of thing? So it's out and will not be used again. And on the way out, it definitely cleaned the hole up as well. Became a lot smoother. So that'll get scotch brighted, and then obviously a new shaft, and then hopefully she will turn freely. Hopefully. Maybe. Progress has been made. And the only reason why I want to get the tops rebushed is because of me with a screwdriver pushing off the pistons and catching the edge. So that's that. Crankshaft, pretty good. The only thing, God, it's just, I don't think I can even catch my nail on anything. Getting a new gear on the way from J-Bugs, because this is 100% why the engine was seized. And I had to give it a good old whack on the con rods with no piston to get the other pistons to come past the edge of the case so I could get the gudgeon pins out. So it all looks absolutely fine. It's like you can see that, but you can't feel it. Anyway, that looks absolutely fine, but still, I've got a new one on the way, because I've got a new distributor drive gear on the way as well, because even though this looks absolutely fine, in every way, apart from obviously corrosion on the top. I gave it a god almighty whack on the bottom of these teeth, and probably there as well, to get it out. And getting it out on that front, the corrosion in this hole, and this was 100% the reason. So I don't know if you can see, about halfway down, there was a difference in colour from like a machine surface to a corrosion surface. Now, my hope is that you can see a circular line, possibly like, whatever, 5mm, 10mm from the bottom. That's where the actual distributor drive gear sits and spins, and that is okay. Now, what sits further up is the distributor. Now, I've had a go at it with brown Scotch-Brite and grey Scotch-Brite, and let's have a look. So I've been pushing it in, trying to find any kind of like score marks or anything when there was pressure. Don't worry, I didn't lose the washers. Oh yeah, you can see a bit of damage there from when I whacked it. That's good. But now this goes in pretty much as it should and spins freely. Now the only question mark is, am I going to have an oil leak from the distributor shaft? And unfortunately, we ain't going to know that until we rebuild it. So that's where we are. That is the point of cleaning that we are at. So we shall, I'm going to say, leave that as it is. Comes out, in and out, easy, or as easy as anybody else is on the tinterwebs. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, that is the reason. That is 100% the reason why the engine was locked up, and the rocking was probably the play from this gear to the crankshaft. So that is done, or at least my mock-up, so that's that. So let's get cleaning. In the process of cleaning the engine, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty ugly because the corrosion is insane. Look at that. Luckily it's really thick here. There's a massive web, so it's not a problem. Look at this. This is insane. Magnesium, nice and light, but doesn't really withstand. That's really smooth now. It's really nice. Does not withstand corrosion. And then this one, similar. Probably have another wash. I'm poking around and scraping some stuff, cleaning, sealing off and stuff like that. Now the heads, I've had a thought. This is basically going to be my first engine build on my own. I've built Volvo engines with Volvo Yoda, but he's always at my side, stopping me before I do that wrong thing. Now, YouTube University on YouTube is very good and very thorough, and I have plenty of fears and worries, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. Now, should I go and blow it out on my first build and build big blah 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 blah, big crank, big barrels? I'm thinking no. Now, I do want to reinvent the wheel as always, but I think the right thing to do in this situation is build it back standard. Now, it's a 1641, I think, 87mm barrels, and I'm thinking to even put it back to a 1600, because you start messing around with barrels and cranks, you've got different length conrods, and then you really are messing around with compression ratio, all that kind of stuff. Now, I will be measuring at this time, but I don't want to be waiting days at a time for shims here, shims there, blah, blah, blah. So I think I'm going to be going relatively stock, like stock cam going back in, followers seem good, all that kind of stuff, And then I have applied or requested help and assistance on a possible fuel injection kit from Ace's Fuel Injection. Because I see support on YouTube for Holly and Phytech, which are all great and all look great, but I don't really see anything for Aces, and they do have a kit for a Type 1, and I think this would be really good for it, because I'm on that front a bit of a numpty bollocks, so if I can do it, anybody can do it, you know what I mean? So I have emailed them today and filled out their form for, support and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what we hear back from that. But that leads me to the heads. I cut the tins when I was taking the engine off. Engine to pieces. Because I could not get these screws out. Now, I put like a guard because obviously magnesium, heat, not good. So I put a guard here, put some heat into it 2 or 3 times to let it, expand, contract. Because you've got magnesium, metals that aren't the same, don't like each other, so obviously corroded. Using whatever you guys call those, I say mole grips, I was able to get those out. These guys were not playing, and I came up with an idea. Got my grinder there and ground the head so it was kind of like, parallel. And then I was able to use, is that a crescent wrench? I think it's a crescent wrench. I was able to use a crescent wrench, which gives me so much more leverage to actually make it move. Now, looking online, everybody's just like, snap them, drill them, tap it. But, look, all original. One thing I just realised, something tells me that this engine wasn't running very well when it was stopped. And I think we now know why the carb and distributor were taken off and used for something else, because I think that is the only cylinder that was sealing and had any compression. When I was taking it apart, the heads were loose, relatively speaking. So we've got, it seems, cylinder leak there, and then look at this thing. It doesn't even look like the cylinder head was touching the barrel. The cylinder. Wow, God, I bet this thing was running hideously. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode and the content, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.